What's up, guys? Horror Man back for another review. So today we're going to take a look at the NECA Toys Batman Returns cloth action figures. Now in this wave you have the Catwoman and the Penguin. Now they did make a Batman figure, but it was actually the 1989 version, which I did take a look at that figure in a separate review, so check that out if you haven't seen it already, but it is in scale with these. And hopefully we'll get a Batman Returns version in the near future. So just like the Batman, you do have slip covers on both of these, so it's not like an open window box. And you do have to cut the tape at the top and a little piece at the bottom to get these slip covers to move away from the box. On the back, you just get the Batman Returns logo, which looks really cool, and just some of that snow kind of speckled all throughout. You do have like a hanger tag at the top of the box as well. And then just taking a look at them individually as you slip the covers off, you can see that you could just kind of slide the cover off like so. So just taking a look at the packaging, got the warnings and NECA logo at the top. Batman Returns written on here, just with the names of the characters, cloth action figure. And yeah, you can see everything clearly inside of the box that you're getting with here, so no real mystery. Over to the sides, you just get pretty much the same thing, logos, name, and then just that little movie logo. And then over to the back, you get the DC logo, get a little read-up of the characters themselves, and just some of the description of the items that are included with each different character. Pretty much the same thing on the other side, just using some of the different imagery. With the Penguin, you have the underground, and then with Catwoman, you get a little bit of like the skyscrapers for Gotham City. I did want to show you how the 1989 Batman looks between these Batman Returns figures, so here he is kind of sandwiched in between them. Alright, so here's a quick look at the Catwoman and Penguin outside of the boxes, and I do have those on stands. Don't pay any attention to that, I always use those for reviews. But just an early reaction, I'm really liking the Penguin. The Catwoman I'm definitely having some issues with, and we'll talk about that. So let's go ahead and start by taking a look at Catwoman. Now you do get this really cool backdrop, and again, I really love that NECA includes this. It saves me from having to make them. But it's just a really cool little scene from the movie. You got some little cats in the picture. Of course, it says "Hell here," and if you remember, it did say "hello there" like early on in the movie. And she knocks out like the O and the T. And this is like in her apartment when she first becomes Catwoman. So it's a very, really cool backdrop, and it's a really cool part of the movie. So I'm just really happy they included this. Alright, so taking a look at the first head sculpt here, and this is the one that's on her inside of the packaging. I really do like this expression. This is just kind of like that I don't give a crap, I'm unimpressed look that she has for the most part, the whole movie. But the details in this face are just really good. It's the eye makeup, just the attention to detail with the stitching in the mask. I mean, it looks really, really good. Definitely lifelike. You could just see just little details in the face that make it look like a person underneath of that mask. It's not like a cartoon style or anything like that. Very realistic. And here's just a different angle of the face, and you can see that stitching, like the way it goes up into the ears. It's really cool, nice details, just really good expression. Definitely can tell it's Michelle Pfeiffer underneath this mask. And then here's just one more angle of that head sculpt, and I can't remember if like the eye, like you see how like the mask is kind of messed up right here. I think that's like from the first encounter she had with Batman. It tore the mask just a little bit. So I guess this would be like after her like first, night out, I guess, as the Catwoman. So it has a little bit of damage to it, but yeah, man, just looks really, really good. And I do love the skin tone. It's definitely nice and light. It's not too tan. And here's a quick shot of the back of her head. Again, you can see all that different stitching in the mask. It's all throughout. So Really, really nice details all around. Now before I show you the interchangeable head that you get with this figure, I did want to do a quick comparison with the original quarter scale Catwoman. So if you do have that quarter scale figure, you can kind of see the difference in details here. And again, this quarter scale looks like it's more painted on, like hand painted, where this one, like the newer one, appears to be more printed. But I do think they kept a lot of the same details, which is awesome in this smaller scale. So the interchangeable head that you do get is this one, which is basically like the final scene of the movie, like right before she rips off the mask and reveals her identity to Max Schreck. Now I will say the head is a little loose on here. There is a little bit of weirdness, which I don't understand why it's so loose. But when you take it off, there is a weird, like, kind of indent in there, too. I'm not sure if that's coming through. And you can kind of see it on the other head sculpt as well. There's, like, a little indent on the inside. So, not sure if that's some kind of defect or why this is sitting loose, because the other one's the same. It sits just a little bit loose on here, but it is easy to interchange anyway. It doesn't seem like it's hurting the figure too much. Alright, so here is that interchangeable head, and man, this looks really good. It definitely has that look from the end of the movie where she's kind of yelling at Max Schreck and a little bit of Batman. But yeah, I do like the details here. You got a complete different expression. You got the hair kind of peeking through different parts of the mask. Just looks really, really good. And from this profile view, you could really see the hair just peeking through. Just so cool, man. And if you remember the scene where she falls through the glass, this is definitely why there's so many holes in this mask after this. But yeah, just really nice details. And here's the right side of the mask. And again, you can just see how the hair is just kind of peeking through all the different parts of that mask. Just really, really cool, man. Just love the details in this interchangeable head. And here's a quick shot of the back of her head, and you can see how the hair is completely coming out at the very bottom. So again, just amazing details all around in this head sculpt, from the front to the back. Completely just great detail. And I did just want to do one last comparison for the face sculpts with Catwoman here. If you do have that quarter scale version, this is what that interchangeable head look like. And again, this one comes off as more hand painted, where this new one is printed. So, but they both look really good. I think they both have kept a lot of the details. Obviously in this quarter scale, you'll see more detail in the eyes and in the teeth especially. But if you notice, this one has the more fabric hair. It doesn't have sculpted hair. I don't think this is necessarily a huge loss not having the fabric hair, because as you can see, this does tend to go everywhere. So, you know, I think at this scale, it's a great representation of the quarter scale and of Catwoman from Batman Returns. Taking a look at the torso here, for the most part, it's got some issues, unfortunately. Now keep in mind, you know, of course this is supposed to be in the style of those vintage toy lines, so this cloth is not going to be perfect. But there's definitely some things I could still criticize. The stitching is not perfect. I kind of wish it went in between her chest a little bit more. It just comes off as a little strange the way that works, but I did get it to line up with the corset. The corset is another issue. It is just very, very dull compared to the black that's on the outfit. So I wish that matched up more. The quarter scale also has just a little bit of a difference between the body and the corset, but this is a huge difference. My biggest complaint, though, about this is the sleeves. Like, it looks terrible. I just really don't like it. So anytime you move those arms, the sleeves on that suit keep going up, which is a huge, huge downside. I just don't like it. It kills the aesthetic when you try to put her in a pose. I don't know if it would have been smarter to put like black gauntlets on her arms. I think that would have helped cover it up. They do something similar with the quarter scale. They kind of put almost like a gauntlet around that part of her arm. So I think that would have been the fix here. And here's a quick look at the hands that she has. And you can see the different claws on there, which look really cool. And then she's got some different like expressive hands that I'll show later. But this is like the finger pointing and just an open hand. But this is definitely going to be my biggest criticism of this figure. These gloves are definitely supposed to be long. So the fact that they're short, that's why you're seeing the sleeves showing. So yeah, they really should have went with a longer like gauntlet piece attached to here, like a, you know, sculpted piece, and then had these interchangeable hands. And here's a look at the back of the figure, just showing some of the stitching on here, and of course the back of that corset. And it is really done well. I like the way the corset looks. It's just not lining up as well as I hoped, and it's definitely a very dull color compared to the black in the rest of the body. And finally, down to the lower half of the figure here. Again, really nice stitching, just like you see in the top half of the outfit, so that looks really nice. You do get some of the seams like in the side of the, you know, legs here, just where you see where the stitching, or, you know, it is cloth, so you're gonna have to see it somewhere. The boots look really nice heels on here. I like all the different touches for like the silver on, like, you know, just where the holes are for the laces in the boots. Looks really nice. Just like Batman, she has like no butt, unfortunately, so I wish they would beef these up just a little bit if they're trying to like use these for spandex or latex characters. But for the most part, I think it looks pretty good. Just one thing to note, you don't have that like damage that was sculpted in with the quarter scale, where part of the outfit's like coming undone. And even this quarter scale has like the stitching kind of hanging off, so you don't get any of those little details here. I don't think that's a huge deal, just worth noting. Now, we've already taken a look at the interchangeable heads, which both look really cool in my opinion, two of the best parts of the figure. And then you also get two interchangeable hands. Now, of course, we've already looked at the hands already on the body, which is more of a relaxed hand and then more of like a pointing finger. And then the ones you do get like a gripping hand, and you can see just a different pose with the claws, of course, allows you to grip different items. And then you have a tighter gripping hand as well, almost a fist, but it is a gripping hand. Now, you don't get fist with this character, but this isn't one that you would really want fist for. She generally would claw somebody as opposed to punch them. So to get these hands off, it's a little tight, but you have a straight peg here. And then we'll go ahead and put on this kind of more open grip there. And then not too bad. Now, of course, again, the sleeves definitely roll up so you can see part of her skin. I definitely hate that. I can't say it enough. I really wish they just sculpted a piece over top of the end of the sleeve. It would have really made a huge difference with this figure. The first accessory you get is her signature whip, of course. And just like Mezco, what's really cool about getting these like cloth figures is you do get an actual cloth whip. You just have to untie this knot first. And then once you untie it, it is a really long whip. You can see how long this is here. And then there is a bit of like this harder piece. Almost reminds me of like the end of like a shoelace. It doesn't have a wire though, so it's not going to be able to like wrap around someone in a way to where it's like going to be able to stay in motion. You could just kind of like tie it around someone, so it does have some playability to it, which is cool. And besides the bullwhip, you also get this taser, which looks really cool, and you can see it's got the little cat ears and the little cat face with a little smile, and it looks really cool. It's got that like Max Shrek kind of logo going on. I just have it in one of the gripping hands, but it would probably fit in most any hand that you have that has a slight grip. Nothing really on the back, just details on the front. So cool little piece to include with her. The last thing you get with her is one little stand. It's just like a single peg on here, so if you are worried about her falling over, it is cool that they at least included that stand, because they generally don't include many stands with these retro figures. Unfortunately, there isn't any actual cats included with Catwoman, but if you do have like the Vincent Price figure in the 7-inch scale, the cat's a little small, but cats, you know, they come in all sizes, so you can kind of make it work. And she had a lot of cats in this, so if you have some of the old Ripley figures or any other NECA figures they made that included cats, you should be able to get some cool little pictures. Now, like I said, she does include this little stand, which is just a circle peg, so if you want to use that, you can. Alright, so taking a look at the articulation, I am really happy that she stands well. I'm actually pretty impressed by that part. The articulation, on the other hand, hasn't been very impressive for this line, but it's not that surprising. You do have some pretty decent articulation in the elbows, which has been part of the course. You got to be careful moving this too much. Arms can go all the way down, go all the way out. A good T-pose. Moving this arm up, just be careful with the material. But yeah, the arms have been a pretty good articulation point on here. We already kind of talked about the head, but the articulation is really good. She can look up really high, look down pretty good. It's just a little loose on here. But yeah, not too bad up there. Not much in the midsection, but again, pretty much part of the course. There is a bit more leg articulation with her. She can go out about that far. Knee articulation, it's okay. She can get some pretty good poses though. I mean, she is really well designed character. I do think the body type that they picked for her is pretty good. Possibly Elvira, I'm not sure which one. But overall, she can get some pretty like good poses, but these bodies don't typically, they're not like super articulate. Again, my biggest issue is the sleeves. And like I said, she can stand really good. She does have some good articulation at the ankles here, so she does have some pretty good rock. I think pretty much all of these had some really good boots, like all three characters, Batman, Catwoman, and the Penguin. They all just have really good articulation in that area, which is awesome. So taking a look at the packaging insert for the Penguin here, just like the Batman and the Catwoman, you get this really cool image from the movie. So you got the cemetery here with the snow kind of covering a little bit. Just got that mood lighting going on. I love this stuff. It's great for toy photography. So yeah, I just can't say enough how much I love they include these. Alright, so taking a look at Penguin's head sculpt here. Man, this guy is so freaking cool. I mean, he is really, really well done. I love the expression here. Just really good details. Just like the Catwoman, he does kind of have that, black around the eyes. Just like really good shadowing. The lines on the forehead are really nice. And I especially like the teeth with just a little bit of that, like, I don't know, fish blood or whatever dripping down his face. It's just really cool, man. I think they've done an exceptional job with this head sculpt. And here's just that 3/4 angle turn of his face, and yeah, man, he just looks really good, man. Definitely nailed the likeness of Danny DeVito here. The snarl he's got going on. He looks like he's like just got to the scene where he's crashing a party. Like this whole outfit, this look, that's what he looks like right here. So just really impressed overall by how NECA has just nailed this likeness. And here's one more angle of the face. Again, really nice details. And it does appear to have that like printed technology for the details, which is something NECA uses in modern day. So a little bit different than like how the quarter scale was. Now I don't have the quarter scale. I have seen that one in person. But this is based on their original version of the quarter scale, not the mayoral version. Now you do get a bunch of different looks for the Penguin here, which is awesome. And he does have this really cool coat. Now it does have a little bit of a wire in the front here, so you can actually bend this all around, which I do like that. And you have it right here as well. In the back you don't have it, but it has that kind of split like you'd see in a suit. But really nice detail. You do get that fur collar as well, and you also get the fur like on the the sleeves themselves. So really nice details all around. And again, this looks to be like what he wears when he crashes the party toward the end of the movie. I love the way this jacket is shaped, like these weird sleeves that are on here. It almost looks like a penguin. I mean, it like when I first took it out of the box, it's like, wow, he already looks like a penguin. But yeah, I really like the detail on here. Just really different. The way they've designed it, I think, works really well with this figure. Now, my favorite part about the Penguin suit is this onesie. Like, this is definitely, to me, the best version, the best look that he has in this movie. This is the most memorable one because it's like so terrible looking, but it's definitely iconic at this point. So you get kind of like a little bit of like the more dapper version of Oswald Cobblepot, but then of course you get the onesie sloppy version of the Penguin. So I really like this. So I'm not going to take the jacket off just yet, but I did want to show you that he does have this onesie on underneath. Now this is sculpted, this like weird little tie here or whatever that thing is, and he has this like bib that's on the onesie. It has like some stitching on there. Or maybe it's called a dicky. I'm not sure if that's what this is, or if it's just sewn into the actual onesie. But it kind of reminds me of that thing that Cousin Eddie wears in Christmas Vacation. So pretty funny. So yeah, you got the different buttons on here. He does have those kind of like big, combat boots on that you see in the movie. It does have 2 peg holes in the bottom of the feet there. Now what's interesting about this is they actually stuffed him. So right here, you can see that they put this big pad over top of the figure, and it's not that noticeable. So I really think they've done a pretty good job. Now, when I take off the jacket, maybe it's not quite as good, but so far it looks pretty good. So I do like the way they've done that. Now, just like the head and the boots, the hands are sculpted plastic, and you get some really nice details in here. And like I said, you get a bit of that dapper Oswald Cobblepot, so you get the gloved hands, and I do think they look really good. Now, talking about the boots for a second, there was a little bit of a paint rub on those, unfortunately, but that's the only like QC thing I've seen so far. Alright, so here's Penguin with all of his dapper accessories, and I wanted to show these on, and then I'll just take each one off to show you what it looks like, just to connect all these. So it does look pretty good, I think. Definitely completes the look. And man, I just love that you get 2 completely different looks with this guy. So you can see he's got the top hat, he's got the monocle, he's got the cigarette with the extender on there. Just really cool, man. Just right out of the Batman Returns movie. So to take the different accessories off, the hat is the easiest one. You can see how I have the bow over his left eye. And then you get a completely different look just without the hat. And just taking a quick look at that face again before I take the accessories off. Again, just, man, really nice details. I really like this look especially. This one just screams like, mob boss to me. But anyway, to get the cigarette out, there's actually a little hole right here in his mouth where this just plugs into. So, pretty easy. And it does stay in there pretty good. Actually the monocle too, nothing's going to come off. So you just take that out. And the monocle actually plugs into part of his eye. So there's a little peg right here, and then there's just a little indent right, in between his eye and nose. You really can't see it real well, but it is there, but it pegs in just fine. So very easy to achieve these. Alright, so in order to get this alternate look for Penguin, you will need to take this jacket off. So you could just pop the hands off. Now be really careful with the fur on here. Try to push that away from the hand to kind of start to see where the peg meets the arm. And then pull that out. You'll see a little bit of that fur come off. And again, try not to pull on that fur. It's the one thing you want to watch out for. Alright, and that's one side. And get that off. And you can see where the seams are, help you out. And since we have that jacket off now, we could put on the different interchangeable hands. And they peg in pretty good. A little bit tight. Alright. And then there's his alternate look. This is really cool. This is probably going to be how I display the Penguin, just because this is the look I always think of. And I'm just so glad NECA didn't go with the mayoral Penguin for this figure. Like, this is definitely the one I prefer. But yeah, you can see the outfit a lot better. And again, he's like stuffed right here. So like it's kind of added this padding to beef up the body. And man, it works good because he's all like lumpy anyway. So like this is such a perfect use of extra padding on a figure. So I just think they've done a really good job with it. And you can see the hair a little bit better now with the jacket removed. You can see it's, again, a lot longer hair than some of the other versions of the Penguin. Just, man, really, really cool looking figure. And on the back of the figure, you can see where the outfit actually attaches. So you have like that Velcro piece right here. I would definitely not recommend taking this suit off because of all the padding. You might really mess something up. But yeah, this is a really good looking figure. Taking a look at the articulation for the Penguin here. You can turn the head around pretty much all the way. He can't look down much, but he's not going to look down on many people. But he can look up a little bit. I do wish he could look up more because he is a short character. He can tilt his head a little bit, which is nice. The arms can go out about this far. And then they go up that far. He does have pretty good elbow articulation. Nothing really up top because of all this going on. So mainly everything's going to be in your arms. Good T-pose. He can move his legs out a little bit, but not much. Again, this onesie isn't going to do much for him. Very short legs. Yeah, he ain't going to do much there. You have weird knee bend, kind of useless. So, and then you can move the legs, and then you can move the top of the boot. The boots themselves move pretty good. Really good, actually. So, for the most part, even though he doesn't move a lot, it's kind of what you're expecting with these figures. But he does stand really good, and I like that he has multiple looks, so that kind of makes this a bit more desirable of a Penguin figure. And you really don't have a lot of Penguins in like this Batman Returns design, so definitely happy to have. You also do get a gripping hand for Oswald here, so you get 3 different hands for the non-gloved. And once you put this interchangeable hand in here, you can hold his other accessory, which is this disgusting half-eaten fish. So you can see he does hold that pretty good, and there is some pretty good amount of details on that fish in case you want to get it really graphic. Here he is with his onesie and his top hat on, and I'm using the McFarlane umbrella for him. For the first comparison, here they are next to the 1989 Batman from that same line, and all 3 of them next to each other look really good in my opinion. Batman might be like a touch short, but Michael Keaton's not a very tall Batman. But overall, all 3 of these together, I think they look really cool. Here they are with that same 1989 Batman cloth figure, but also next to the Flash Beast Kingdom figure. And they also made a 1989 and Batman Returns version, but I don't have those for the comparison. For the next comparison, here they are next to the McFarlane Batman Returns Penguin and Catwoman. And seeing these next to each other Man, these NECA ones are so much better sculpts. Oh my god. The Catwoman is a really good sculpt. I do like that figure. I just think she's too tan, especially seeing her next to this NECA one. And Penguin kind of looks more like Uncle Fester now than I see him next to this one. But, you know, they are different scales. They have different purposes, so it is cool to see them next to each other anyway. Here they are with the McFarlane Toys Batman Returns Batman, which is not in scale with these two. Here they are in a couple other figures in that 7-inch scale. So you have the NECA Toys 1989 Batman, and then the McFarlane Toys Dark Knight Rises Catwoman. And you can see they're definitely way too small next to these. Here they are with the 1989 Batman from the Mezco 112 Collective line, and then the Max Schreck from the McFarlane Toys Batman Returns line. And this is 6-inch, this is 7-inch, and they obviously don't scale with these two. For the next comparison, here they are with some of the NECA cloth retro figures. So you have Pennywise from the 2017 movie, and then you have Johnny from the Karate Kid movie in his skeleton costume. So they look pretty cool with like the Penguin. Maybe they could be like his goons or something. But you could see how the how this whole line fits together really well. Here they are with the Mego Red Hood from the Red Hood comics. And for the final comparison, here they are next to some of the older figures. You have the vintage Kenner Batman Returns figure. They actually didn't make a Penguin from that movie, sadly. Not in the Batman Returns look, anyway. And then these are the old Mattel versions, which were, a smaller scale. But they have a Penguin, and they had a Catwoman, as well as an 89 Batman. So even back then, they didn't have the returns. Alright, so that's my review of the Catwoman and the Penguin from the NECA Toys Batman Returns 8-inch cloth collection. And just like the Batman, I'm pretty happy with these overall. The Penguin especially, I feel like they nailed. I really don't have any complaints about that figure. I like the stuffing like in the actual body to make him look bigger. The Catwoman, the only really issue I have that stands out are the sleeves, and I do wish the gloves were extended, just like the movie, to cover up that. So aside from those gripes and the corset being a little off, I'm pretty happy with these figures. I do wish we would have got the umbrella for Penguin. I feel like that's an accessory that they cut from the quarter scale and just never could quite get at all. So I do wish we would have got that. And then for the Catwoman, a little like cat companion would have been cool. NECA's already sculpted enough cats, so they could have just maybe made a bigger one for this one. I think that would have been kind of cool. But the overall accessories for Penguin are loaded, and I do love that they went with this specific onesie version of them. And aside from a few gripes with Catwoman, like I said, with the sleeves, I am really happy with the figure. There's something about the cloth that really gives them a lifelike appearance, and I really do enjoy that. And as a fan of Batman Returns, these were definitely a must-have. And I get that this line isn't for everyone, so if you're not really a fan of the retro style, I get it. It may not be for you, but I do think this is probably the best representation of these characters in something under a quarter scale or a 12-inch scale. So really nice job from NECA on this. If you like my review, please leave a like. If you have a comment or question, leave that in the comments section below. And until next time, guys, see ya.